Type Book 2. It's Tuesday, so I'm here with a tag and with my handy dandy sidekick, Winnie. Of course she's here. I don't know. It's like she's gotten used to like my filming schedule or something. I'm not sure, but she's not camera shy. We can say that about her. So I'm here with a tag. It's I just saw it on Strip Cover Lit's channel. The Springtime for Dalton Tag. And so I thought I would, I wasn't tagged in it, but it looked like a fun tag. It's perfect for the springtime weather. Here in California, right where I'm at, it's really super duper windy outside. But it's nice because even though the sun's like shining, it's keeping it cool with the nice wind. So let's get into the questions. So the first one is, what is one new author for this year that you've read? And I've read so many books this year. So for each of these questions, I try to go with a nonfiction and a fiction selection because it's really hard for me to pick, even for the new author. I know it's not a new favorite author, but these are two authors that I really enjoy. Let's see if I can get this picture. So this first one, I've read two already. Georgette Heyer. This is the Grand Sophie. And I also read Cotillion by Georgette Heyer. And I just picked her up in February for like a February romance read. And she really focuses on Regency romances. She has a huge backlog of books for me to dive into. And so yeah, she's really funny, which is what I like. It's not like such a serious romance. She has a lot of humor involved. And then the other book, the other new author to me, it wasn't one a lot of people seem to be picking up, which is The Library Book by Susan Orlean. And this one is a book about the fire in Los Angeles. But it's not only about the fire, but it's like the history of the libraries in Los Angeles, mixed in with a little bit of Los Angeles history, and of course like the love of reading and the love of the libraries. I use libraries daily, so this was for sure a really good book for me. And it's made me appreciate libraries even more. So let's see. Number 2, what is the best new book of the year? And so I again went with I couldn't choose. I've read 95 books as of filming today. I read 95 books, and I couldn't just pick one. So I picked 2, and even then, I couldn't really say these are my number 1 favorites of nonfiction and fiction because there's so many that I love. So this is one I read right around the beginning of the year. It's One Person, No Vote. And this is How Voter Suppression is Destroying Our Democracy, and it's by Carol Anderson. And this is all about the different states and how they do their voting. I know, election, how they run their elections each state. And so some of them are quite corrupt. Like how they, either they close down voting stations or they move them to where a lot, especially in the South, like the deep South, not everyone has a car. And so they know, different areas where people rely on public transportation, which in the South, public transportation isn't the best. And so they kind of make it, make a way for them, for especially black voters, not to have their say in the election. And so if you want to learn more about the United States, like election or voting system, and what's going on, like, it also kind of leads up, of course, to, how did Trump become president? And so, yeah, this book make me think. It's a really good, like, a political book if you're wanting something like that. And this other one is one I just read this last week. It's Greg Iles' The Quiet Game. And I chose this book because this book made me want to stay up all night reading. It really had me gripped. It's the author, Greg Iles, he is from Mississippi, Natchez, Mississippi. And the book is set in that area, so he really good writing for capturing the Mississippi climate, the people, the small town life, and besides that, the really good thriller writing. It kind of kept me on the edge of the seat, like what's happening next, because you really get a sense of character for each of the people in the town, and so finding out their motives and what are they up to, and how are they involved in the murders. So yeah, really gripping, good thriller. So let's see, number 3. What is your go-to book to return to? And so I didn't pick a book. Of course, I have, like I've been saying. I picked a category of books that I really love to return to. And those are children's books. So these are the 3 series that I have picked up at the beginning of the year, around about into this last quarter, that I'm hoping to continue on this for the rest of this year and in the foreseeable future. So the first one is The Babysitter Club. I just started this last week. And I finished this book and I really, really liked it. It's by Anne M. Martin. And it seems to be when I talk about this book, a lot of people have read the series. And I grew up seeing the Babysitter's Club series, but I never picked them up. And so I'm really enjoying that. And this other series I've been working on is another one I just mentioned recently, which is the Ramona Quimby series. And this is the second one, Ramona the Pest by Beverly Cleary. And then the third series that I've been working on, that's a children's series, is one I'm doing with a read-along with a couple of other, a couple of booktubers are hosting, and I've been joining in. It's Heaven, this is Heaven to Betsy, this is the 5th one. But the series is the Betsy Tasty series, and this by Maud Hart Lovelace, and this is delightful. Of all the 3 series, this is my favorite one of the series, but I'm enjoying all 3 of them equally. And a reason why I chose children's literature to return to, because I read a lot as a kid, and I loved books from the very, very first book I picked up practically. And so I love like returning to children's books because you're kind of like reliving that experience, or you know you're kind of reliving your childhood, even though you didn't live each of their childhood. You're reliving that. They're always so full of joy. I feel like they're not often sad, so they keep me happy, and they're light, fast reads. And so yeah, these are for sure books that I love to return to. So number 4, my cat's tail's in the way. What are your reading goals for the spring season? I don't have specific reading goals. I just want to continue reading, hopefully continue my momentum. I looked it up, and since I've read 95 books, that's 6.66 books per week. And so if I can keep that up, maybe make it an even 7 books. I don't know if it's possible. But yeah, 5 to 6 books a week would be great. My goal for the year is 365, so that's 7, a book every day. We'll see. So yeah, I just want to keep up reading. I don't really have specific goals or targets. I would like to, keep a mixture of, all the different genres and nonfiction and fiction. But so far, I mean, I don't really put any requirements on myself. Even the 365 books, if I don't make it, I'm not going to be devastated or anything. It's just a really nice, cool goal to be able to hit. That might be possible for me. So number 5, what are your, no, I just did that one. Oh, no. Number 5, what are your spring writing goals? Well, I don't write that much. I mean, as around middle school and high school, I kept a diary, and I loved writing in class. I loved using those prompts, I remember in my, I think it was 7th or 8th grade, my teacher would put on our stool different objects. Like it could be a stuffed animal, or it could be a pencil holder, or whatever. And you had to like write a whole story, and really fast, like 10 minutes, write an idea for a story. And I really love those kind of prompts. I always have enjoyed writing. But since college, I've really taken a step back from writing. I would love to pick that up again. Maybe a writing goal for me would be like around 500 words a day. I think that would be reasonable and doable, and kind of get me back into the swing of things. Because I really like writing, because it can kind of massages your brain in a way, because it's not reading, you're taking in content, but writing, you're being creative. And so, yeah, maybe this will prompt me to get into that. Because, I mean, I would like to, so we'll see. So number 6, what's one book that gets you excited for the outdoors? And so I chose 2 books. One that I'm currently reading, it's set in Colorado, in a small mountain valley town. It's Deep Creek by Pam Houston. Finding Hope in the High Country. And this one I've really liked, because it's not only mixing like a memoir and nature writing. So I really like that compilation because I think it's a really good balance. It's not just one thing where you get kind of bored with it. She's mixing in with her life and how she ended up in this small Colorado town. She wasn't from there. And so yeah, talking about her animals and the nature and the wild animals and the wilderness and the weather, especially the weather, because she's like in the high up in the mountains. She's not in like Denver. She's like, I think she said she's 5 hours away from Denver, like right in the Rocky Mountains. So the weather is so extreme. I'm so glad to be warm and cozy here, like hearing her reading about how she's stomping in like 5 foot feet of snow with, like, you know, the snow drifts and the wind chill. So yeah, this one for sure gets me excited for the outdoors. And this other one is one I read earlier this year that I liked. It's Eager by Ben Goldfarb, and it's The Surprising Secret Life of Beavers and Why They Matter. And I chose this one because he is from Spokane, and so he talks about, you know, the area he grew up in, and all different spots, because it's basically mainly focuses on the West, and he goes to different towns, and he talks to people, and he tries to convince them, you know, different ways of allowing beavers into their environment, because they're really beneficial, you know, not just for the beavers, but for, you know, the people living there as well, and all sorts of, you know, it helps, you know, keep the cycle going of, you know, like different animals, you know, contribute, you know, so it's not just, you know, humans in their houses. So yeah, this one for sure I really liked, and maybe want to go visit some beavers. There's none around here, but I'm sure, you know, up in the Sierra Nevada mountains, there's some. So yeah, that is that question. So number 7, what are your thoughts on reading outdoors? And so for me, I don't know. I don't really read outdoors that much, just because I don't have a space for it. I think if I had a yard, like, or a patio, something like that, I would be inclined to read. Because as a kid, you know, living in my parents' house, they had an outdoor patio with, like, shade cover, because I don't like sitting in the sun. You know, I'm really pale skinned, and so I burn really easily. So yeah, I mean, as a kid, my parents' house, I read all the time outdoors. But as an adult now, where I'm at, it would have to be, you know, like at a cafe or something with, like, a patio. But I don't go to cafes to read, because I get distracted. I'm fine, like, picking up a drink or something, but I don't go there to read because I just get distracted. So as for now, in my current time, I don't read outdoors. I wouldn't probably read outdoors, just because of my location. But if later I get a house or something like that, then yeah, I'm all for it. Because I mean, I love, like, the fresh air and, you know, the sunshine, and it's just a different setting. You know, nice to break it up from the normal one reading spot that I have right now, which is in this chair. So yeah, that is the reading tag. So now I'm going to tag 3 booktubers to do this tag. So the first one I'm going to tag is Literary Labors. It's Angie at Literary Labors. I'm going to tag Tanya, the Sampler Girl, and Rainey from Rainey Day Reads. And I will leave a link in the description below to their 3 channels. So yeah, I hope everyone's enjoying their spring weather. I know I checked the news earlier. I guess there's going to be a huge blizzard in the Midwest. I don't know how people do it with all the snow. Like, but yeah, I'm enjoying my sunshiny spring, windy day weather. So I'll see you soon. Thanks, BookTube.